We were having some technical issues, but we're starting on time after all, because all is good and it is the way it's supposed to be, right? Welcome, everyone, here and online. I'm Holly Leo, and I'm a board member. I'd like you to take this time to silence your cell phones. Reverend Shara is with us today. And her talk is The Hope of a Love-Filled Afterlife. I'm very excited about this. The Voices of Unity Choir is with us today, accompanied by Jules Vogel, and under the direction of Carol Roman. Yay. Please mark your calendars for Sunday, March 23rd, which is the date of the annual membership meeting. It is the State of the Union for Unity of Tustin, and everyone is invited to our annual review of our community, our accomplishments, our plans for the future, and our financial picture. Plus, we will introduce the new board for 2025. Also, remember to vote for our own Unity of Tustin welcome video. It's in the link in the e-blast. And now Gary Gottschall will come up and introduce our new board candidates.
Good morning, everyone. So we do this once a year. We get election committee together. We invite applicants to put their applications in to go for board member. And we review those, which we did last week, and we have two candidates that have fulfilled the requirements. The requirements are being an active member of the community, living and practicing unity principles, maintaining prayer consciousness, and demonstrating leadership abilities. So these folks, and more, a lot more. So these folks are two outstanding applicants. So I'm very excited to introduce them today. And again, you'll have an opportunity to vote for them coming up this next Wednesday, Wednesday the 5th through the 10th. So there's about several days in there that you can cast your vote. You'll be notified online for that. So today we're going to bring Zelda up, and Adam will not be here, unfortunately, but he sent a video in, so we'll be able to see Adam's video from that standpoint. They will share their vision for Unity of Tustin and their contribution, how they will contribute to making that happen. So I will invite Zelda up first, and as she's coming up, yay. As Zelda's coming up here, I'd like to just say a couple of things about her. She's one of the selfless servers here on campus. Most everybody knows her because she's from hospitality. She helps out with various financing projects and even is jumping back and forth into helping out the Youth of Unity and Kids program. So, Zelda.
Thank you, Gary. Good morning, my family. Good morning. I've been coming here for 28 years. I know. And like Shara, what brought me here was having a young child at that time, an 8-year-old, our daughter Joanna. And she's now 36 and has 2 kids. So that's when I think back about all those years and the water that's traveled under the bridge and stuff, my vision for Unity is to have it continue to grow and thrive. And I want it to be a safe haven for those who are seeking a closer connection to spirit, more broad understanding and education, and a space for diverse thinking. I also want it to be a fertile ground for our next generation. The Youth of Unity just has a big place in my heart. I used to teach in the high school and junior high groups years ago when Joanna was that age. And I was just moved by the work that was being done with these kids, and that's our future. So that's really important to me too. So how can I contribute? First of all, I'm a possibility thinker. It's never a matter of if for me, it's always a matter of how. We got to figure it out. Unity has been through some dark times through those last 28 years, and I personally have been through a lot of different dark times in my life. And I just know that there's light on the other side, that there's just no real need to fear those times. That's just an opportunity for redirection and reconsideration. So that's the possibility aspect of that is just really important to me. And then the other part of it is I do hold a lot of legacy knowledge, and I think that can be helpful. I definitely think that we need to learn from our past, but I also think we need to grow and change and evolve. So I won't be holding steadfast to that's the way it's always done. We need to grow and evolve. And lastly is money. I have had some real challenging times with money in my life, and I no longer do, fortunately, blessedly so. And I love to inspire other people around money and giving and the possibilities around money. And the word money, a lot of times, I was going to say finances. But, it's all about money, and that's a part I think I can really contribute with the church is that possibility, thinking around that and inspire the giving. So that's with it. Thank you so much.
So Adam McDonald is currently on work project. He's in Houston right now, so he's very busy. He was hoping to be back a couple weeks ago, but this has been an extended project for him, which he's very excited about. So he created a video on the spot, one take, and so on. You'll enjoy what he has to say. He owns a production company and has been instrumental in putting together some courses for Unity of Tustin, including the Enneagrams and spiral dynamics. And as you all know, or most of you all know, he has also put together our recent video introducing new people to our community. So he's done an outstanding job, and I'm very happy that he's going to re-up to sit on the board for the next few years. Anyway, video, please.
Good morning, everybody at Unity of Tustin. Sorry that I couldn't be there in person to share my vision with you today. I was actually called out of town on an assignment that's both gratifying and important for me this month. It's with deep gratitude and enthusiasm that I share my vision for Unity of Tustin and my commitment to contributing to its continued growth and prosperity. Serving on the board of Unity of Tustin is more than just an opportunity to give back. It's an integral part of my spiritual journey. I learn and grow through every experience and engagement. I'm honored to be a part of this vibrant, transformative community. Drawing from my 30 years of entrepreneurial background and past experience with major nonprofits such as Feeding America, I see an opportunity to contribute my skills toward developing alternative revenue streams that can support the sustainability and expansion of our beloved community. One of the key areas I'd like to focus on is large donor acquisition, tapping into my fundraising experience and cultivating relationships that can provide substantial support for our mission. In addition to donor engagement, I envision expanding Unity of Tustin's impact by creating and hosting online courses such as Spiral Dynamics, the Enneagram, and Rumi's Love, and can serve not only our congregation, but also reach other Unity churches and like-minded spiritual seekers worldwide. This initiative would allow us to expand our teachings beyond our local community while generating additional funding and financial support. Another potential revenue stream is renting our beautiful campus to movie studios and production teams, which we've already had some visitors and interest. Unity of Tustin offers a unique and serene setting that could attract filmmakers and producers, providing a steady stream of rental income that we can reinvest into our programs and facilities. I also see great value in creating and engaging marketing and educational videos to attract new members to our spiritual community. In today's digital age, compelling video content is a powerful tool for outreaching and connection. By sharing our message in an accessible and inspiring way, we can draw on individuals who resonate with our teachings and values. Most importantly, I see my service on the board as an opportunity to grow spiritually while supporting the growth of others. As I shared in my transformational story, I'm I'm committed to continuous learning and evolving. I believe in sharing that journey and with everyone I encounter. If I am called to serve in this capacity, I will do my best to support our community in every way possible. Regardless of the outcome, I am deeply grateful to be a part of the Unity of Tustin and will continue to offer my talent and heart and energy in this service. Thank you for listening to this one-take video, and really wish I could be there in person. Have a great day.
So as you can see, we have some two outstanding individuals that can help our community grow and prosper and bring in new members and all kinds of things along those lines. So as you cast your vote, I'd like you to take a few minutes beforehand, opening your heart, your mind, your soul, your consciousness, blessing the community as a whole, blessing our board members, blessing our selfless servers, and blessing each and every one of us. So thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Well, it's the first Sunday in March, so everybody who has a birthday in March, please stand up so we can celebrate you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And now, please let us stand for the congregational song.
Yes, this is the day of love and joy and miracles. Good morning, Unity of Tustin. And as Zelda said, good morning, friends. My name is Nevin Valentine, and I'm one of your prayer chaplains here at Unity of Tustin. And it is my honor and joy to open the service by lighting the Christ candle. And we light the Christ candle to remind us of the divine presence within us. Positivity. Oh. The daily word today is positivity. And the affirmation is, through positivity, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. And the scripture is, keep your heart with all vigilance. From it flows the springs of life. Okay, here's the daily word today. I've heard it said, most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. These words show me the importance of positivity and how an upbeat attitude can keep me afloat through the rough waters of life. Amen. Amen. Positivity helps me see the world as full of joy and, as Zelda said, possibility. Difficulties may arise, but my confident faith in the goodness of God gives me power to cross the stormy seas, to find calm waters and warmth and sunshine. The light of God surrounds, enfolds, and uplifts me. When I center my thoughts on the divine within, I feel equipped to meet all challenges. God's indwelling grace sees me through the stormy days, even if squalls of sadness toss me about. By faith, I will outlast the gales and reach calm seas ahead. Beautiful, yes? All right, so I'll say the affirmation once, and then you'll ask you to join me. Keep your heart. Whoops, that's Proverbs 4:23. All right, here it is. Through positivity, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. Together, through positivity, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. And so it is. Amen. And now I invite our beloved Shara to the platform.
Tustin, and good morning to everyone online on this positive day of possibility. And it's a really special service because after today's service, we're going to celebrate Kay's life. We're doing Kay's celebration of life. And you know, thinking about today, I was wondering what kind of service could integrate well with it. And I had just been at the Conscious Life Expo in LA and saw Eben Alexander speak on near-death experiences and the hope of a love-filled afterlife, and these stories that help us get a glimpse into the eternal nature, the life underneath life and beyond life. And I asked Mary Jean what she thought, and she thought that would be great. So with Mary Jean's blessing, I decided to make that today's talk, which apparently has a bit of life in this community. For the first time ever, I got 3 emails in advance excited about the talk based on the title. And I didn't even know anyone ever looked at the titles. And sometimes, quite honestly, I make them up because the talk doesn't come until after everything needs to be printed. But, you know, it kind of makes sense to me that there's energy around this. So I'm just kind of curious. How many people here have had a meaningful experience with someone who's transitioned, like an after-death experience with someone important to them? Thank you. How many people here have had a shared death experience, that maybe you were with someone who died and experienced something transpersonal? Could be quite a bit, I would say, maybe like 10, 15%. How many people maybe have had a near-death experience of your own? Wow, wow. We have maybe about, 4% of us. And we know that these types of access points don't have to happen only through death. They also happen through spiritual practice, through moments of grace, through times where we just see beyond the veil. So how many people who have had a meaningful, transcendent experience through meditation, spiritual practice, psychedelic experience, something like that? Okay. So of all of that, who here from any experience has kind of gotten a glimpse of the unknowable world beyond the three-dimensional world? I mean, we have, maybe like 80% of our congregation. And not to belabor hand-raising, but how many Sunday talks have you heard about near-death experiences in the afterlife? Yeah, not many, huh? Neither have I. That put me in kind of an awkward position. Because, I thought sometimes I talk about the shadow, not it's what's negative, but what's underexpressed. And here we are, a spiritual community, and we don't talk much about death. And we don't talk much about the mystery before and after death. And we don't talk much about what that might mean and what the consciousness of humanity is culling. So today is going to be an attempt to do that for our own evolution and in honor of Kay. And on that, also the first song the choir is going to sing today, I Will Be With You, is dedicated to Kay as well. So today, I'd like us to move into prayer, and of some of the near-death experiences or the after-death visitations that people have experienced, there's generally a type of message or feeling tone that is transmitted. And that feeling tone is that you are deeply loved and cherished forever. My mom would come to me and she was anxious beyond any rationality in this three-dimensional world. And she would come to me, her body would move in a way it never moved on earth. I never had a reference point, but it was very, very graceful. And she would say, Shara, you have nothing to worry about. She pleaded with me. You have nothing to worry about. You have a life of grace. And that's why I named my oldest child Zoe Grace, life of grace. So that's the message, that we are deeply loved. We are cherished forever. We have nothing to fear, and we are deeply cared for. This is the eternal truth beyond the truth, that when we know in this world, we can live more gracefully according to our best selves. So let's bring that into prayer. I invite everyone to breathe in and breathe out collectively. And release into the deeper knowing that is always there in our deepest heart. In our deepest mind, when our mind is down in our heart. When the door and the portals to the transcendent are open. And I invite us all to know, not as an idea or as words, but allow your heart and your body to resonate with the truth that you are deeply loved. Feel it now. You are deeply loved. You are cherished forever. You have nothing to fear. You have nothing to fear. You are deeply cared for. And you, sweet child, you are not alone. And we come together as this beautiful spiritual community for remembrance. To remember these truths. And embedded in these truths, rooted in these truths, we can show up as our Christ essence, as the light of the world, as the uplifting wholeness we want to see and demonstrate in the world. And with great gratitude for our we-ness that allows us to be our very highest me-ness, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, sweet Spirit. Thank you, divine living mystery. Amen. Well, it is my great delight and honor to introduce AJ Lipscomb, who is going to share her transformational story with us today. And it is really important for us to have concrete reference points to remember why we are here, why we give our money, why we give our hearts, why we give our souls, because we change lives. We change our own lives. And we change the lives of our community and our greater community through the presence we are able to bring forward. So to tell her very inspiring transformational story in the way that you just minister when you open your mouth. It's so grateful to have you say yes and to share your story with us, AJ.
Thank you so much, Reverend
Yeah, of
Shara.
course.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, Unity of Tustin. All of you that are here, and to everyone, everywhere, that I have this honor to come before you and share just a little bit of what this community has done for me. Now, I have some notes here, but I didn't know this service was going to be one that put me in such a place of divine awareness. From the opening prayer to the songs we have sang to the prayer just now, Spirit is asking us to believe. And I hope with some of the things that I can share with you, you will feel that ability as I do. The vibrations that I feel when I just drive onto these grounds are amazing. It's sometimes so overwhelming that I have to hold myself. The energy, the vibrations that exist here, there was no way for me to know this place existed, but for the things that happened in my life that brought me to awareness of what is truly important. I can still so vividly remember the smiles, like Arnie and Linda and Ann and Kay, that welcomed me to this place when I was just Googling at work, and this thing called Unity of Tustin kept popping up, and it should not have been in my search. So I said, okay, let me get rid of this, get back to work. Later, it happened again, but this time it showed the meditation gardens, and that hit me because I truly have a brown thumb. I am not good with plants at all, but they speak so much to me. And when I saw those pictures, I said, okay, I gotta find this place. Now, something else that was really weird, and I will try to be as short as I can, but I didn't realize that for over 20 years, I was passing these grounds because I would take a shortcut to get to my daughter's preschool because it's been repaired, but there used to be a dip in the road on Prospect, and every time we would hit that dip, we would say, "Wee!" And I mean, I was louder than she was because I really felt something when we passed here. Little did I know that it was this place. I remember a long time ago, about 10, 15 years ago, when I would share with Reverend Carolyn that when I would come on these grounds, it would feel like something was being birthed, that something was happening. It was really very strong, and I had no idea of what that really meant. But I kept coming to this place and hearing amazing workshops and ceremonies and services that talked about things that were totally over my head. I mean, quantum physics, I didn't take that in school, so you're talking in church? I mean, the idea that there was something here that I needed to hear even though I didn't understand it. And I don't know if many of you know about the Course in Miracles. I would hear about that all the time and say, okay, that too is over my head. But I kept coming. And one day, I was at the Barnes & Noble bookstore and saw that the book was $25. And I said, okay, well, that obviously means that's not for me right now because I was unemployed. So I kept looking at other books, and there was one wrapped in plastic, and it said $2. And I said, if I have $2, maybe that means I need to get that book. And I actually had $2.50 to include the tax. So I got that book and took it home, and it changed my life. It answered questions that I had been asking pastors as a young person, 8 years old. I professed my belief in Christ Jesus, and that allowed me to be baptized. But I still had so many questions that when I would come to them, they would ultimately say, AJ, you just gotta have faith. It didn't sit right with me, and now I know why. Because they didn't know. There is so much that the divine presence has for us to understand that can allow us to experience that abundant life right here, right now. I want to have this opportunity to tell you its impact because the people that have been volunteers here, from the ushers and the prayer chaplains and the Reiki healers, the people in hospitality, our many other ministries and ministerial board, they are here with such loving, open hearts. And the smiles that you see, that you don't know the person and you know they don't know you, but they're smiling at you anyway. I understand that is the divine presence that is in them, that is seeing me. And I am so, so thankful to know that this place is here. And I want to do everything that I can to make sure that when that next soul is ready to find this place, like I was shown, it will be here and be able to nurture them as you guys have nurtured me. I have had a cancer journey that I understand now. I was brought here first so I could understand when they say there's nobody, I know what they mean. When they say there is no death, I know that there's nothing but eternal life that we can experience here right now as well, because we can bring heaven to earth. You guys do that for me, and I want us to be able to do that for others. The opportunity that I have to give of my time, my money, my everything is because I want this place to continue to nurture those that are still coming, that are going to find the answers that they are looking for, just like I, and I know many of you have. So thank you so much for keeping Unity of Tustin here for me and for so many more to come. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you, AJ. And I think our hearts are absolutely ready to be sung to by our Voices of Unity Choir with their beautiful tribute song, I Will Be With You. Thank you. It's really beautiful. Feels good in here today, doesn't it? Yeah, let's take a moment. Just be with all the love. It's really special. We created this love. This is an intentional choice of what we choose to do with this gift of life. And it really matters. I'm so grateful. I just feel so grateful for all of you. Listening to Eben Alexander and his journey, he says that the only response we can really have for this miracle of life is gratitude. It's the only thing that makes any sense. I started by saying we don't really talk much about the afterlife, and I realized I didn't get any ministerial courses on what happens when we die, or even our unity teachings on it. So I had to do a whole lot of research on, what exactly do we believe that we don't have to believe, because we don't have to believe anything to be at unity, even though we have principles we believe. And I have to admit, I spent a lot of time on this because I realized this was going to be a two-parter, and but it just seems so boring right now. The dogma and the not dogma. So I think I'm just going to chuck all that. And, maybe talk about the inspiration. Talk about one man's journey. That's all it is. So it's not going to be very compelling for any skeptics in the audience. But how it intersects with a field of research on many people across time and across cultures who have gotten a glimpse of whatever exists or happens beyond this reality. And the themes, the very hopeful, love-filled themes that come from that. And, to me, there's almost a Me Too power to our near-death experience authority. One person's story actually isn't very compelling. But when we hear people say the same types of things over and over throughout so much time, like maybe this is something to listen to. And what if we took it on as truth? And if we don't take on as truth that there is this light and this love that is the allness of all reality that we come from and that we are going to, what is our alternate story? And how do we know that story is true? And as my mentor always said, if you're going to make up a story, at least make up a good one. At least make up a story from which we can be emissaries of heaven on earth, right? So this is the type of story I want to live from, true or not. So many of you know Eben Alexander's story. He was a neurosurgeon who had bacterial meningitis that essentially destroyed his brain. And during that time, in a week-long induced comas, he had an incredible journey of the afterlife. And for him, what was very important was the fact that his brain was scientifically proven to be in a state that it could not have such memories, therefore showing that the mind, the brain, is not divine mind, is not the ultimate reality, that there is something more that connects us, and that it might not even be the brain. It could be heart coherence, it could be gut coherence, it could be this kind of spark of life that is resonant with a mystery beyond what we know, but there is something we can connect to, that whether we're listening to the still small voice or we're on a grace-filled journey, gives us glimpses of what matters most and what is most true. And in his journey, he talked about a few salient points. So one phase was he talked about an earthworm's eye view, where at first he was in this primitive, coarse realm that he described like being in dirty jello. Okay? And it had roots and blood vessels all around. And although it sounds a bit foreboding, he accepted it. It's just simply the reality he was in. But then that started moving as he was being taken by a slowly spinning white light accompanied with a musical melody. And many spiritual traditions teach us how to follow the sound current, how to follow harmonies into transcendent realms. And then he entered what he called the Gateway Valley, which was actually ultra real. More vivid and real than ordinary waking reality. And I know when my mom used to come to me, there was something more real. She moved in a way she never did in the earth, but yet there was something more real about it, more vibrant about the red shirt she was always wearing. So any of you who have had some or many of these types of experiences, bring them forward now. Again, let them vibrate in your body and in the room and in this field, because it's not the thoughts. Eben Alexander says this as well. We're really looking to feel and commune with the experiences much more than understand them. So for him, it was like being a speck of awareness on a butterfly wing, witnessing millions of butterflies with colors beyond the rainbow. And below was a lush, fertile meadow in crystal blue pools, sparkling waterfalls, and thousands of beings celebrating. Now bring that in, just this sense of this Edenic consciousness. That's how it gets transmitted as images. But try to feel into the truth of such an image. And then this was the portal to the core realm. So from the Gateway Valley, he ascended to the core realm where he witnessed all of four-dimensional space-time collapsing down into a complex oversphere that represented the universe throughout eternity. And here he recognized that our very conscious awareness is sourced in that God force. So again, I invite you to breathe that in. That sense of your very conscious awareness sourced in this God force, this four-dimensional space-time collapse into an eternal, vibrating, alive, intelligent, loving now. And through this journey, he had a guide, this beautiful woman who he didn't know. And apparently most people who have near-death experiences have a guide, and a guide that brings great love into their heart. And I've often wondered myself, well, what about all those curmudgeons in the world who have nobody loving them? Who sees them on the other side? Who do they see when they cross over? And what I liked about Eben's story is it was a deep love connection, but not someone he had ever met in real life. We always have manifestations of love, whether recognized or not. And in this, he was adopted, and he had recently reconvened with his birth family, but there was a sister who passed that he never got to meet. And he saw after the fact that his guide, when he saw a picture of his sister that he never met, that's who his guide was. So that we have these connections that will find us and will be the perfect person. We will have the recognition of love, whoever it is, who guides us and who we see on the other side. And her message to him was that message of being deeply and eternally cared for, precious, cherished, loved, nothing to fear, and that reminder that we are never alone. We are never, ever alone. Here we get to celebrate our interdependence in the manifest world. And a lot of people come to Unity of Tustin and are like, I found my home. I feel like it was home. And that's what many people with near-death experiences talk about, the transcendent. It's, I'm home. I'm home in that deep and eternal way. So what I love about Eben Alexander's experience is that from his experience, he created almost an experiential theology and worldview that is almost identical to unity. Isn't that convenient? And we talked about that last week. So if you didn't hear our primer for new people on the unity basics, what unity is kind of sourced in. And we're sourced in being an immanent, idealistic worldview where there is an eternal, but that eternal outpictures in the manifest world as this divine substance spirit life. So everything is holy because it comes from the ground of holiness itself. And Eben talked about this ground of holiness itself as the primacy of consciousness. That the brain is not the creator of consciousness at all. We're actually conscious in spite of our brain. That's a good takeaway, if you want one takeaway from today. And that there is this consciousness that we recognize and participate in that has an eternal reality to it. And the illusion of separation he calls the bleak and paltry fiction of materialism with its false sense of separation. And he discovered experientially that we are all connected through this consciousness. And the nature of time in spiritual realms, earth time does not appear. He said that there's a different temporal dimension that he calls deep time or meta time, which helps explain phenomena such as after-death communications and the children's memories of past lives. And what I find the most comforting is that research on near-death experiences point to the reality of love. When we can learn things, but it's when we experience them, when we know them, that's what creates the skeptic into the believer, right? We can't unknow what we know, what we've experienced, what we know to be true. And the overwhelming message of these journeys is one of unconditional love. And around 90% of near-death experiencers come back from their experiences believing and knowing that there is a loving, intelligent force at the core of the universe. And their life is changed because they know this to be true. Me Too. It's a good Me Too movement. And it's one that's worth researching more and paying more attention to and getting some comfort from. There are other aspects of this, the sensation of leaving the physical body, movement through a tunnel, encountering the light, overwhelming feelings of peace. Overwhelming feelings of peace. And near-death experiences consistently emphasize profound peace and well-being with a complete absence of pain and fear. Truly being like in our spiritual home, where we truly belong. And we get to participate in this. As we learn and evolve more, we get to participate in this. We are always on that evolutionary journey, aren't we? We've talked about this. We're in this miracle of creation where we've gone from matter to life to life with consciousness, to life with self-consciousness, to life with we consciousness, to life with creation consciousness, to life with God consciousness. And we are getting to the point where we are aware of ourselves as awareness arising from awareness itself. And in that evolution, we can consciously participate with emergence from awareness itself. And we have the power to bring forward heaven on earth, as AJ said. We have that power. We have that God-given conscious capacity. Many people encounter deceased loved ones that feel profoundly real. And although it doesn't happen, there's often a life review. And the life review happens in all time, in no time. There's it makes so much possible. Parallel lives, the infinite of creation, being aware in multi-dimensionalities. But what's really quite loving is that in these experiences, people not only re-experience their actions, but also feel their effects on others, creating profound empathy. Profound empathy. So I didn't go into all of the kind of theory on unity afterlife, but the Fillmores really did believe in reincarnation. Not reincarnation as the end goal, but reincarnation because we're coming back to learn. And we come back to learn again and again for the ultimate goal, which is infusing this world with the eternal world, as Jesus did, as Jesus demonstrated. And that was really that's the aspiration, the deepest aspiration. So as we talked about last week, there's no heaven and there's no hell. Our experience in heaven and hell is based on how connected we are to our Christ essence that we are experiencing now in this very moment. And when it is strong, we are in heaven. And when it is separate, we are in hell. So there's no need for punishment or damnation. And the Fillmores would talk about why would a loving God ever punish its child? That doesn't make any sense. But then what does make sense is this. The learning happens because we not only review our actions, but we feel the impact on others. And we have the opportunity to have tremendous empathy. And in that empathy is a reconnection to the wholeness, no matter what we did. That is the forgiveness, the reconnection to the wholeness. And that comes with that divine cosmic empathy. So everyone gets their due, but through grace and love. It's a different operating system, isn't it? Yeah. And, so the part of you that's like, well, they'll see. When they get there, they'll see. That part of you will feel empathy. You'll get it, sweethearts. As will I. Okay. I want to check in with Tony. Are we going to have our special meditation? Okay. I'm going to start. This has been a full service, so there's so much more to say. I'm going to end with a couple of things, but I'm going to cue us up to where we're going. So our beloved Fabienne Mühlemann is a deep friend of Kay's and found and did beautiful work compiling audio of Kay speaking about the cave of the heart at a workshop. So our meditation today is going to be in Kay's voice. And it's going to talk about one of her experiences as a child, having the experience of a classmate dying and what she saw and felt that informed her whole life. She got a glimpse of this. And then from there, she will lead us in a heart math meditation that we will get to sit in. And for those of you who come to the celebration of life at 1 o'clock, Fabienne even created a song for Kay with the help of some AI. But it's really a beautiful gift. So thank you, sweet Fabienne, and thank you, Kay, and thank you, everyone. But one of the final things that I think is so important about being very curious about what we know from firsthand experiences of people who have gotten a glimpse in all of these ways of the light under the light, the life under the life, the miracle and mystery under the manifestation, beyond the manifestation, is that it's very consoling. So for those of us mourning the loss of loved ones, the loss of experiences, opportunities, capacities in our own life, these collective findings offer very deep solace. We have solace knowing about the continuity of consciousness, that it's fundamental, that the physical universe emerges from the mental and the divine mind, that fine mind, and that research into after-death communications, shared death experiences support the idea that bonds between people continue beyond physical death. I mean, don't we know this to be true when we really sit in the silence? And it can bring great comfort to realize that the study, even the scientific studies, show the ongoing nature of our relationships with our loved ones. And near-death experiences consistently depict the transition from life to death as peaceful and often beautiful. So this can contradict common fears of a painful or frightening end. And finally, we can rest deeply, can truly rest in the knowing and the peace and the comfort that love is the core reality of existence. That is the core. That's from where we've come, and that is to where we will go. And we don't need, one of the most comforting and consistent messages, like I said, is that this unconditional love exists as a foundation of reality and is reported by approximately 90% of near-death experiencers across cultures and throughout history. Yeah, we can rely on this. And not just through reports, but from our own knowing, our own moments, our own connection to the bliss points that provide reference points. But all of this, even Alexander says this, all of this has to be cultivated. You know, what I always say is you can't just take a shower once. So even if you've had one of these NDEs, going back in the silence, that's what he does. To remember, to reconnect, to nuance, to get new insights, to reinforce, to support, to feed and nourish our knowing is so important. Because then it roots and then it grows and then it doesn't become a piece of our life. It becomes infused as all of us as life. And in this way, we can develop a rich, ongoing, active, dynamic relationship with this loving God force, which is the truth of all that is. So I am going to pause there, and we are going to once again call up our beautiful voices of John Claude, who's going to get us ready. He's going to get ready my soul, as we all know and love from Daniel Nahmod. And then we are going to be blessed with a meditation from the other truth, is that when we transition to life after life, we still matter. We still live in the hearts of the earthly realm, and we still persist in the noosphere, and we still persist in the field, because the life we live is the legacy we leave. And we are going to get a beautiful glimpse of the beautiful legacy that Kay has left for us as well. So Carol and John Claude.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I lost or won, everything I ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here. And I am seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Yes, get ready, my soul.
To begin my story, I have to go back when I was 6 years old, because if something happened then that allowed me to later experience what I did. When I was 6 years old, a little boy in my first grade class had died. And I remember the teacher standing in front of the class and explaining that he had died suddenly, he wouldn't be coming back. His empty desk was just in front of me, and I remember staring at that empty desk. And I was hit with the realization of death for the first time. And that night I could not sleep. And even though my dad had tried to tell me about God and heaven, it hadn't registered. And to me, death was just suddenly going into darkness and oblivion, and it would all be over. And I was having a hard time at 6 years old dealing with this. Then all of a sudden, I sensed this very peaceful and warm, engulfing feeling that seemed to come from my heart. And there were words in my heart, and it said, God is here, your soul is here too, and everything will be fine. Well, at 6 years old, I thought, this is nice, and I just went to sleep. However, from that time on, I had this very real sense that I had an inner knowing and guidance that was rock solid and could not be touched in any way. And it gave me a very pure and trusting faith ever since. And to me, God felt like a loving force that flowed through all of us. And very simple at 6 years old to understand. And back then, I thought everybody had this experience, but I realized they didn't, and that I had this special gift for some reason, and I didn't know exactly why. This is a meditation from Heart Math. As we close our eyes, focus on your heart. And now recall a caring heart feeling or memory. It might be love, joy, faith, compassion, gratitude. And now rest that feeling in your heart and allow it to fill your heart. Radiate this feeling inwardly. Then outwardly to everyone in this room, and then to the world. And so it is.
Through the storms you found the light, a heart that shines beyond our sight. On wings of love, you guide the way, still beside us every day. Through the clouds beyond the blue, you keep flying in our hearts' decay. Stories held so deep inside, waiting for the perfect time. Then you spoke and hearts could see the strength and love, the truth set free. Self-love never fades, love never dies. Somewhere in time it still survives. You are here, you always stay, guiding us in your own way. Hummings of love, you guide the way, still beside us every day. Through the clouds beyond the blue, you keep flying in our hearts' decay. Now you soar freely, in our hearts you always home, not goodbye. The skies of love, our hearts and souls rejoice. Dear King, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we honor the Christ in you. Hallelujah.
I really have no words. Everyone just take a deep breath and breathe in the love and breathe out the love. And we take this love, this deep love and peace and recognition and awareness and yes and understanding and felt sense of the truth of now and the truth of now for eternity. And let's send that love to all of those on our prayer list here at Unity of Tustin, all of those in our minds and hearts, and for each and every one of us. And each for every one of us that we grieve and miss, for Kay and for others, allow your knowing that love is all that is to truly inform your relationships beyond space and time, right here, right now. And may me and you and all of us show up to life knowing that we are not alone, that we are cherished, that we are beloved children of God, that there is nothing to be afraid of, and that the journey continues into a peace beyond understanding that we will 100% recognize as home. Okay, so breathe in, let's breathe out with a little sound. And please, please, let's rely on each other to keep getting doses of this remembrance so we can show up and live it. Now I turn it over to our beloved Nevin.
So I feel filled with grace and love and awareness of how this service was a complete circle of love, beginning with our beautiful Zelda and Gary and Adam and then Holly, and how AJ just brought the invitation to who's coming next, and Zelda laid down the foundation, and Adam, of how we're going to keep this place solvent and ready to receive. And then our choir with Jules and Carol and all of you in your hot little tops. You all brought the message of love, that we are loved, that Shara so brilliantly shared from her wonderful experience with Dr. Eden, forget his last name, Alexander. And it was just a synchrony or a symphony of grace and love. And I just feel it. And I think you're all feeling it too. Yes? You feel such gratitude. As she said, that was the key, gratitude and to be in love, to feel your love, walk in love. So we'd like to welcome our new guests in person and online. Welcome. We're so grateful that you have joined us today. Here at Unity, we believe in one God, one heart, many paths, and our mission is to transform lives and inspire people to make a difference in the world. We are a fully inclusive community of all walks of life, and like you to know that wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Our ushers are here with a flower and a card to gift you. If you are here for the first or second time and you're comfortable doing so, please raise your hand so we can welcome you. Oh, there's several people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, welcome, welcome. And we invite everyone to join us at the hospitality table after service for food and fellowship. And also stop by the Open Door Bookshop and reading room. And as always, our Reiki healing practitioners will be here, and the prayer chaplains will be at the entrance to the meditation garden, ready to pray with you. And we love to pray with you, and our Reiki practitioners love to give you a Reiki treatments, and it's just a gift to you. Come have that today. And all prayer, and you can also put your prayer request in the prayer box that's at the entrance of the meditation garden. And there's always so much happening on our what? Campus of Consciousness. Make sure to check each Friday for our weekly e-newsletter and visit the welcome table. And I just want to say that hearing Kay's voice has done me in. It's done me in. It was such a gift. And was that Fabian singing? There you are. Hi. Hi, Craig. That wasn't you? Oh, I just was making up that. I made up a good story that it was Fabian. And I thought, oh, that must be Craig, because I know you sing together. Oh, goodness. Okay. Now is the time to receive our love offering as we share our financial gifts with our ministry. You can see, whoops, not quite yet, Tony, but there it is, giving options on the screen up there on ways to give. And also we pass around, I'm kind of speeding this part up. We'll also pass around for in-house donations. And while you're passing it, you might just put your hand over the opening and just connect with the spirit of giving. And we're grateful for your generosity and faith here at Unity of Tustin. So now I invite Reverend Wonderful Shara to give the offering message and blessing.
Yes, this is the time where we share of our abundance with our community, and money is not separate from this love and this peace and this joy. It is infused with all of it. It is a spiritual exchange, and it is the lifeblood of what we need on the practical level to maintain our community, to be a source of resilience for ourselves and for others. So we are so grateful in advance for all of your generosity that allows all of this that we create again and again to be possible. So with that, please affirm our love offering blessing together. Divine love, as we blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive in joy. And now let's be blessed again by our voices of Unity Choir and how Spirit lives in us.
He lives in you, and this is from the Lion King, hence the hot rope.
Wait,
I want to give a shout out to you as well. You sounded like a professional. So thank you for joining us and here and online. And now I'd like to ask you to please stand as we affirm the prayer for protection. Ready? The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And what's the most important thing to remember from today's talk? Love. Absolutely. Love, and we are all never apart. We're always connected. Go forth in love.